This incident happened in 1990, but the exact country is unknown. A man named Mark worked on a farm. The farm was near a desert and was surrounded by a boundary. It had 2 gates and 2 people were on duty during the day and 2 at night. Mark's duty was 12 hours long. At first, he was mostly assigned to clean the farm's garbage. Due to the heat, he was instructed to dispose of the trash a little far from the farm and cover it with sand. After some days, Mark noticed that he was having the same dream every night. In the dream, someone was warning him, saying, "Mark, do not throw garbage there, or harm will come to you." After seeing this dream for many days, he told his coworker about it. But the coworker laughed it off and said, "Bring the one who said this to me." The next morning, that coworker suddenly had a heart attack and died. Before dying, he clutched his chest and screamed, and his face showed extreme fear. His eyes looked like they were popping out. The doctor confirmed that he had died from a heart attack. Mark was shocked. He thought, yesterday he was completely fine, laughing and joking. How did he die so suddenly? The head of the farm gathered everyone and said, "If the police find out, we will be in big trouble. Bury the body yourselves." They looked for someone to carry the body, and Mark was told, "You will carry it. We will pay you twice your salary." Mark agreed and, along with 3 others, took the body toward the desert. In the darkness of night, they buried it under the sand and returned home. A few days later, Mark saw the dead man in his dream again. The man was crying and saying, "I made a terrible mistake. I will not spare anyone." But he did not say what mistake he had made. One day, Mark went to the desert to dump garbage. As he dug the sand, his shovel hit something hard and metallic. Digging further, he discovered a large chest with strange carvings on it. He remembered childhood stories about hidden treasures. The chest was golden in color and beautifully designed. It had no lock, but it could only be opened in a certain way by following the carvings. Mark lost patience and decided to break it open with his shovel. Eventually, he managed to break it. Inside, he found something wrapped in a small red cloth. He had expected gold and silver, but was disappointed to see a small object inside. Curious, he unwrapped it. The moment he did, a mist-like substance rose from the chest and disappeared into the sky. Inside the chest, there was also a talisman. Feeling frustrated, Mark took the red cloth with him and returned home. From that day, strange things started happening on the farm. One day, a strong sandstorm blew across the desert. That night, the sheep in the farm started behaving strangely. Suddenly, a deep voice came from outside the gate. "Return my treasure. My cloak is missing. Give back what you took." No one could understand what was happening. Everyone panicked. The next morning, the owner brought a religious scholar to the farm. The scholar asked, "Did anyone bring something from the desert?" Everyone denied it, including Mark. The next evening, 2 men wearing robes arrived at the farm. They wanted to buy some sheep. The workers told them, "You can't buy them like this. You need permission from the owner." The men got angry and said, "If you don't give them to us, we will take them by force. You cannot stop us." As they spoke, they let out an eerie laugh and suddenly transformed into shadowy figures. Within moments, more shadowy ghosts gathered. A storm-like wind started blowing around them. One of the shadow figures grabbed Mark's leg and dragged him while shouting, "Return my treasure." At that moment, everyone realized that Mark was the cause of all the problems. Suddenly, they saw black smoke coming out of Mark's mouth. The smoke then entered his body, and his voice changed. In a deep, terrifying tone, he said, "Mark opened a chest in the desert and took my red cloak." Someone quickly ran and brought the red cloth, throwing it in front of Mark. Seeing it, the ghost became furious and violently tore Mark's body into pieces. Within moments, Mark's body was shredded to bits. Some people fainted from the shock. After this incident, everyone realized that something had been imprisoned inside that chest, but no one knew what it was. Who was that ghost's master? Why was it locked inside? The answers were never found.